Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. What we're witnessing right now is a moment of high stakes, a situation that could reshape the NFC South and send shockwaves through the entire NFC. And what makes it even more intriguing is the potential blockbuster trade that's being whispered about within league circles. A deal that could redefine the Atlanta Falcons' offense and their playoff aspirations. According to sources close to the league, like Diana Rossini, the Falcons are involved in serious negotiations that could see them land a big-name wide receiver from their division rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, you heard it right. The Falcons, currently sitting at 2-2 in a competitive NFC South, are looking to make a bold move, especially with Darnell Mooney sidelined for at least a week after injuring his hamstring in Week 4. That injury leaves the Falcons' receiving core a bit thinner, and they're clearly looking to bolster their weapons for quarterback Desmond Ridder. Now, what's the scoop? Well, the buzz is that the Falcons are eyeing Devonta Smith, the talented Pro Bowler from 2022, who's been making waves in Philadelphia. The Eagles, struggling to start the season at 2-3 and dealing with some cap challenges, are reportedly open to trading Smith in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026 and wide receiver Josh Ali. It's a move that could help Philly in their rebuild, especially as they focus on extending A.J. Brown and shoring up their offensive line after allowing an average of 3-6 sacks per game. The Eagles are also trying to free up some cap space, around $16 million, to prioritize their core players and future extensions. But let's focus on what this means for the Falcons. Devonta Smith isn't just a good wide receiver, he's a game changer. Coming off a solid 2025 so far, with 28 receptions, nearly 400 yards, and 3 touchdowns in just 5 games, he's proven to be a reliable vertical threat. His yards after catch average, YAC, is impressive at 11.0, and he ranks among the top 15 wide receivers in PFF grades with an 89.5 rating, which is exceptional. His ability to stretch defenses and make explosive plays downfield could be exactly what Atlanta needs to take their offense to the next level. Looking at his career, Smith has accumulated around 400 receiving yards with 18 touchdowns and maintains a career PFF grade of 87.9. His EPA per target sits at +2.7, indicating he's highly efficient when targeted. Notably, his contested catch rate stands at 58%, which means he's not afraid to go up and get the ball in tight coverage. His vertical route success rate is at an impressive 74%, making him a true vertical threat that defenses must respect. Injuries hampered him in 2024, limiting him to 12 games, but he's been healthy in 2025, and that explosiveness and reliability are exactly what the Falcons need to diversify their attack. And imagine this, with Smith on the field, the Falcons could see a huge jump in their offensive production. Experts are projecting that he could add over 10 yards to Atlanta's passing game, creating a dynamic duo alongside Drake London. When you combine their speed and route running ability, defenses will have a nightmare trying to contain both. This pairing could elevate the Falcons' aerial attack from averaging around 188 yards per game to nearly 248 yards, an enormous leap that could turn their offense into one of the most potent in the league. Now, from a strategic standpoint, this trade makes a lot of sense for Atlanta. They're currently at a crossroads, looking to make a playoff push after a slow start last season and with some uncertainty at the receiver position. Replacing Mooney temporarily with a player like Smith, who provides that vertical stretch and yards after catch potential, is a smart move. Plus, with the Falcons' current cap space of around $12 million, they have enough financial flexibility to absorb Smith's contract and still add depth elsewhere. This move could also unlock Kyle Pitts, who's been somewhat held back by the lack of consistent deep threats. With Smith drawing coverage deep, Pitts could find more room in the slot or as a mismatch in the red zone, reducing the drops from 5% to a more manageable 2%, which is crucial for a team looking to contend. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. This potential trade isn't just about fixing the receiver core, it's about positioning the Falcons as serious contenders. Devonta Smith's speed and explosiveness give Atlanta a true field stretcher, one who can turn short passes into big gains and help open up the entire offense. His ability to gain over 1.0 yards in a season isn't just a projection, it's a realistic expectation if he joins the Falcons, especially considering how much defenses would have to respect the deep ball. It's reminiscent of some of the best vertical threats in the league, like Tyreek Hill, who transformed the Dolphins' offense in 2022, adding a massive 280 yards in team gains. Smith could do the same for Atlanta, pushing their aerial attack to new heights and forcing defenses to rethink their coverage strategies. And what about the impact on the Falcons' overall playoff chances? Well, the odds are already shifting. BetMGM has moved the Super Bowl odds from plus 15.0 to plus 6.0, reflecting a more optimistic outlook if this move materializes. The addition of a player like Smith could be the final piece that pushes Atlanta from a decent team to a legitimate playoff contender. With a projected record of around 10-7 and a 48% chance of winning the NFC title, according to ESPN FPI, the Falcons are positioning themselves for a strong second half of the season. This trade could be the catalyst that sparks a run, especially if Desmond Ridder continues to develop and capitalize on the extra weaponry. Meanwhile, the Eagles are recalibrating. They're focused on their youth movement, with players like Jonte Cook II coming up, and trying to manage their cap situation, about $8 million remaining, while their defense allows an average of 27 points per game. Trading away Smith might seem counterintuitive, but it's part of their broader strategy to rebuild for the future, focusing on younger players and cap flexibility. The Eagles are clearly prioritizing their core, and this trade could be a sign that they're willing to part with a talented player like Smith to free up resources and draft capital. In the end, this trade scenario, if it happens, could be one of the most impactful moves of the NFL season. For the Falcons, it's an opportunity to significantly upgrade their offense and make a real push toward the postseason. For the Eagles, it's a chance to reset and focus on their long-term rebuild. The deadline is set for November 4th, and all signs point to some serious action before then. Will this be the move that propels Atlanta into a new echelon of contenders? It certainly has the makings of a blockbuster, one that fans will be talking about long after the season ends. So, Falcons fans, keep your eyes peeled because this trade talk is heating up, and it could be announced any day now. The potential is huge, and it's easy to see how adding Devonta Smith could turn Atlanta's offense into one of the most explosive in the league. The question now is whether the Eagles are willing to part with him and what kind of package the Falcons are prepared to offer. Either way, this is a story you don't want to miss, and I'll be here to update you as soon as more news breaks. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Atlanta Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news.